I'm hosting a mastermind with my client for the second time. I'm basically sitting here in Greece at the mastermind villa, which I'll show you in a minute. But I thought I would like to make a YouTube video in terms of like the learnings we've had with masterminds, the best practices, the things you want to avoid, the things that you should add, and just how to make a lot more money with it. Because there's a few things that if you have those in mind, you can actually make a lot more back-end revenue with the actual mastermind. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the villa, and then we can jump into the 5 things that I've prepared for today in terms of what you can expect. So the first thing is maybe a bit obvious, but it's always coming down to the fundamentals, whatever business you're running anyways. So the thing number 1 is your product. But let me explain why. Because people at the mastermind make relationships, they become friends, and they also attend together. So if they attend together, you'll basically just be selling 2 spots anyways. If your product is shit, people don't want to spend more time with you, right? You don't want to spend more time with a person who you feel like scammed you. And also if your product is shit, people won't really make any money from it, and they can't afford to attend your mastermind. And if they do, they're just going into a deeper minus expecting more from you. It's just a big negative circle. So what we focus on is the product. And in thing 5, I'll just explain to you how we also make a good delivery on the mastermind itself. But mastermind, in my opinion, is one of the single greatest things for people to bond and create communities, which is essentially what will drive your info product and the brand of the info product long term. Because I see a lot of info products, dying after a year or 2 because they simply don't have a good product and they don't have a good brand around it. And most importantly, not a good community. Because when you have a mastermind, you have 5, 10, 15 examples of exactly what knowledge you have. So if you have a good case, you'll have a walking example of somebody who did good. People will see that and they want to reflect into that. We literally had a girl at the last mastermind who came and had almost like 0. I think she was maybe at like $500 a month. And this time, 6 months later, she just had $10,000 a month with content creation, which is a lot of money, right? And she's a walking example of what you can achieve if you attend the mastermind. So this time, a lot of the attendees have seen her. She's been talking good about it, obviously. So it's just a walking example of that. And we've been able to sell the spots a lot easier. So thing number 2 is more at the mastermind itself. But a learning we've had is you fucking need to push people out of their comfort zone, because they don't come there for a holiday. They come there to actually being pushed. As you can, see with the attendee we had that went like literally 20x her income. We pushed her out of the comfort zone and basically just set some non-negotiables for her to hit. If we haven't done that, we haven't had the example of her getting that income. I think a lot of the masterminds I see and hear about is just the attend or the host are just thinking, or treating it more as a holiday where it's like a few presentations, you have a dinner together, you have a few one-to-one. When it's done, you cut the ties, which is stupid in my opinion, because I think, you need to do something else where you need to hold them a lot more accountable. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. So just to give an example here, for this mastermind, we have 5 presentations, we have 4 workshops, we have 2 activities and 2 challenges. Plus we have one-to-one with both me and the coach herself with the attendance, so we can actually push them out of their comfort zone and push them out of their boundaries, because they come here to learn, and we want to make sure that, their learning curve is basically just going like this, and they are not just spending all day out in the sun tanning, drinking and stuff like that, because we want to push results. We're not here for fun anyways. Masterminds is not the most profitable thing you can do. So we're also aiming for greatness here. And I think the reason why this matters the most is because people are paying to be transformed, not to relax, because they can pay for a holiday themselves. And when they leave the villa, I want them to feel like we've done something that they couldn't do on their own. You cannot have the learning curve and all the learnings and our help alone, right? The thing number 3, which is who you let in the room. And this is fucking important, because this is where most of the people I know have fucked up at least once, and usually only once. And trust me, you will never make that mistake twice. Because first mastermind is always you treat it as a paid event where everyone with money can come, and that's fine, but you have to have this learning anyways. Because the people you say no to matter more than the people you say yes to. Because one wrong person can ruin the whole dynamic of 6 people, and we've seen that happen at the last mastermind, which is why I'm so keen on getting this learning in as well. What we do is we ask people 3 things before pitching the idea. So we say, are they actually taking action in the business? Are they at a level where they can contribute, not just consume? Because you also want people to talk together privately when they are not, having presentation workshops and stuff like that. And the third one is, do they bring energy or drain it? Because you don't want to have energy drainers, because that's where you fuck up the whole dynamic. What we've seen is the magic at the mastermind isn't actually the host, it is the room itself. Because if the room is mid, the whole experience is mid no matter what. If you go to a nice restaurant, 10 out of 10 with bad people, you won't enjoy it as much as a 5 out of 10 restaurant with some hella funny people. And when you get get 10 right people together, it will be like the dinner conversations just alone will be a lot more than the whole mastermind with bad people. So please screen people before actually letting them in. And I'd much rather have just a lean mastermind with 4 or 5 people if you can't set up the spots than just selling to 7 or 8 or 10 people. I really want you to have this learning as well, because we fucked up so big last time. The thing number 4 is a thing that will contribute to the brand, which I talked about in thing 1, which is make it picturable. This is one of the things that we haven't really focused that much on, but I'll take it as a learning for, the future masterminds that I'll be attending and hosting as well. But I think the thing we have to have in mind is masterminds alone isn't that profitable. Like, it's not a great business. Like, we could easily just make a lot more money by selling one-to-one or just taking sales calls, but not at the moment. What it can transform into will be a lot more profitable if you leverage it the right way, which is essentially why I'm even making this video, right? To teach you how to do that. So the thing that we've having in mind is, like, first of all, have a theme, so it's picturable, but have weird things that people want to take pictures from. So for example, we could have a big mirror standing over here with our logo on, because every attendee on the mastermind wants to show the nice location. And if there's a mirror, it's like a pattern interrupt, and then you have your logo on, so you're exposed. So let's just say that your 10 attendees have 50,000 followers together. They might even have more, right? Then you'll be exposed to maybe like 30, 40, 50,000 people for free because you had a mirror. You could have, weird things like a big wine glass, or you could have, I know one of my friends, they were on a tour. They had a fucking jet ski in the pool with their logo on, right? So if you have that, people want to take pictures and videos of that, and they want to expose that because it's cool. If you can make it picturable and videoable, you'll be exposed for free at a lot more gain. So now the exposure that you get from that can be a lot more worth it than just the mastermind itself. So it's just these small little details you need to have in mind, because that's actually where the profit can be driven from. Thing number 5 goes hand in hand here with actually having a good product and also getting the right people in the room, because the pre and past mastermind is just as essential as the mastermind itself. First of all, if you don't connect with people before and suit the mastermind to their needs, they won't really feel fitted into the mastermind itself. So what we do is we actually have a introduction call with the student itself, where we ask, what is your goal? Where do you want to go? Where do you feel like you're struggling right now? What would you like to learn? For this mastermind, we have 7 attendees because our villa is at 10 persons. So these 7 attendees has all been on one of these calls. We've basically just noted down everything that actually made sense for us to talk about. We've stripped it down, we've summed it together, and all of our mastermind is basically fitted towards exactly what each student needs to learn. So for the pre-mastermind as well, we create a community group. I've had the coach take 2 calls where they've basically been on all together. They've been talking a bit about everything. We also try and connect people, so create this kind of community and then make them fly here together and just stay in the same villa, because the connection and the friendship they can make as well is also worth a lot more. Like, we've had 2 of the ones coming down here came because friends, and they actually want to come together. So that's 2 spots sold, right? We could probably have sold them anyways, but it's just nice that the ball is rolling pretty easily. And then past the mastermind as well, we will have 3 months of accountability. So 1 call every month where everyone is basically meeting up together. They're talking about, okay, where am I? And stuff like that, because they get so much information on the mastermind. So after the mastermind, they will just be information overloaded. If you leave that to them alone, they won't really take action because there's so much information to act on. But if we make a plan with them and we make them show up and make them accountable, we assure our part, at least, that they will get the results that they can get. And that is the most important thing, because I think hosting a mastermind for the profit is the stupidest thing you can do. Like, it's nice content, it's not really fucking profitable. Like, you can make maybe 10, 20 grand in profit, but still it's not a lot of money. It's like one-to-one spot. That's what I would focus on. That is essentially the 5 things that we've learned, at least so far, and what I would suggest that you take in as learnings as well to maximize profits from your mastermind itself, and just how to leverage it the right way, so you actually also have a good product and build a good brand around it, so you can have a long-term info product. If you want more learnings, you feel free to follow me on Instagram. You can also subscribe here. I have an agency where I run info products in the back end, so I'm really good at ads. And if you want to follow along, you can feel free to go on Instagram, follow me there. I share a lot of learnings from running ads for my agency clients. I've been running ads for 5 years now across 150 marketing clients and like 50 coaches. The biggest coach was 450,000 cash collected, so quite a good data there. I have a few coaches doing 6 figures as well, 7 figures a year. And yeah, I'm just sharing the learnings for free in order to actually have my agency being capped at all times. So it's attractive to actually come into the agency because I'm building up the personal brand and showing the learnings. You also feel free to subscribe here. I make videos whenever I have time for it. If you have any questions, you can DM me. I don't have any appointment setter, as I just focus on low volume but high intent. I appreciate you following along. I'll see you in the next video.